Hello, everyone. This is Phoenix Tremayne, and this is day two of me doing my dream podcast. Where last night I had this overwhelming anxiety because I was like, yesterday I had a really good dream, but what if I didn't have one last night? So I was very like anxious and it was hard for me to sleep, but eventually I did sleep and I don't remember what the beginning dreams was, but I do remember what the ending dreams were. And so this is going to be a strange trip into my head where I had Popeyes, Walmart, and car insurance on the brain. So without further ado, I'm just going to go on ahead and get into this dream because I dreamed that I was in Walmart. And as you go into Walmart, you have like carts. But I'm in Maryland and in Ellicott City, the Walmart out there for like 2 months, they didn't have carts on the inside. Only on the last maybe 2, 3 days that I've gone that they've had carts regularly on the inside. So when I went into Walmart, there was only one shopping cart. And I was like, I'm gonna hurry and get this cart before anybody else gets it. And so I think that I had Walmart carts on the brain because last time I went into Walmart, I saw like I went in and there were other people that were coming in too. And I saw the cart I wanted. And we were all walking towards it. And because these folks they bring the carts in, but they don't necessarily take the junk out, the plastic, the things people leave behind in their cart. They just rack them up. So I saw one that didn't have anything in it. And so I got the cart and I went into Walmart and it was so crowded. And I can remember my dream. It was dark, like it was like a blue light was on at Walmart and people were just arm to arm, just that close. It was that crowded. And I saw a Popeyes. So I went to Popeyes. And in real life, I only go to Popeyes if I really, really have to, because I've been trying to stay away from fast food. But I went into Popeyes and ordering was my nightmare because I had all these people waiting in line behind me. They had some kind of a special, and I was telling the lady, well, I want, the chicken, I want mashed potatoes with gravy, a biscuit, and collard greens, which they don't sell. So in my dream, they did sell collard greens. And yesterday I was in the supermarket and I didn't feel like fixing collard greens, but I really wanted some collard greens. So I think that's how collard greens got on the menu. And so I'm in there and they have a dessert special. So I was looking at these desserts and I was like, okay, they've got like these like three different types of pies. And I was like, cool. Give me these three pies over here. I didn't even know the names of them. The names were on them, but it's like really foggy when I try to remember what the names were. And then she said, we also have these pies over here, and they had some cookies too. And these were like gourmet type pies and cookies. They weren't like the regular kind. And I also think the reason why they weren't regular is because for the first time I had a tart. And ever since I had the first tart, I've just been looking for stores that sell tarts and have like good fruit tarts. And I've tried two different places, and the second place wasn't that good. The first place was better. And so that's why I think it was like gourmet type desserts. And so when she showed me these three other pies, she was like, you get 10 each, which is 30 pies. And she said, it's $91. I was like, I was trying to play it off like the $91 wasn't a lot, but I'm like, no, I'm gonna get them first three pies over there. And the other thing in the dream, and I think because I've been looking for tarts and they can get expensive, I think that's why the price, even though these weren't tarts, I think that's why the price had become an issue. And so I'm in there and I said to myself, oh, she didn't ask me what drink I want. But I'm not going to tell her. I'm just going to let her give me whatever she's going to give me because I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't do drugs at all. I never have. But I do have an addiction and it's soda. I have a serious soda addiction and I have to go cold turkey because I drink one soda. Next thing you know, I got a six pack and then I got a case and I'm just drinking. I drink so much soda that eventually I get sick. I get real gassy and I'm constantly belching when I overdo it with the soda. So I was sitting there like, I hope she gives me a Coke, but I'm not going to say nothing because if she gives me a tea, she gives me a tea. If she gives me water, she gives me water. But I know I want that Coke. Now, here's a sidebar. The last time I was at Popeyes, I got a Coke. I took one sip. It was so acidy that, just it burned as it was going down my esophagus into my stomach. And it just immediately, my stomach started expanding and I just started belching. And this was off of one sip. So when I got home, well, as I was driving home, I said, I'm not going to take this soda in the house because I don't want to risk, me drinking any more of it. So I just rolled the window down and I poured it out. And I felt a lot better because I was nipping my soda addiction in the bud. I wasn't going down a rabbit hole, but she did give me a Coke. So subconsciously, I still got what I wanted. And when I got the food, it was so greasy. It was ridiculously greasy. And what I got four pieces of catfish and I think I got some wings and something else. So when I actually opened up the box of the Popeyes chicken, it wasn't what I actually ordered. And it was just entirely like too greasy. It was so greasy, it was hard you couldn't eat it. And the connection I take with that is last week, me and my baby, we went out to Hook and Reel for the 4th of July. And we were at Hook and Reel. We ordered our food. I got catfish and oysters, and my baby got uh, barbecue wings, and it was something else. It was fish. I can't remember what it was, but it was fries and it was something else. So we both got seafood, but the baby got chicken too. But at Hook and Reel, the food was so greasy. It was inedible. And I actually put on Instagram, I think one out of the three pictures I took of the food. And I know I posted the picture of the oysters, and you can just look at the picture and see that they've been extremely fried and they're just greasy to the point where the breading is just grease and translucent. So we really didn't eat our food. We just ate a little bit and then we went to the movies. And when we went to on our way to the movies, we went to like a gas station or something, and I got some waters because of all that greasiness of the food. Just want to drink some water, cleanse my palate. And while there, my baby was like, "Look, I'm throwing this shit away," and I was like, "All right, cool," you know. So we didn't even try to eat the food afterwards. We just threw it away. So I think that when I got the food in my dream from Popeyes, it became the food from Hook and Reel, and all of that nasty grease that we didn't want to consume. Now, I slipped into another part of my dream. So when we didn't want the food, it went back to my dream from yesterday with the vandalism, because in that other dream, there was some crazy white woman that vandalized both our vehicles. And I had my phone and I whipped out my phone. I said, I'm glad my phone was in my pocket. And I took a video of her doing the damage so we could call the police and have video proof of what she did. So that was part of the dream from last night. And that dream continued. So after I went through this Walmart situation and this Popeye situation, I ended up back in this vandalism dream. And it was still in a home that I didn't own. So, but that's the home I owned in the dream. So I should have known at that instant that I'm in a dream, but it just continued to play out. Um, so, call the police, and, nothing really happened. That part of the dream gets fuzzy, but it became the next day. Like the dream just sort of transitioned to the next day, and my baby was going to work and getting into a convertible. And I was like, how do you get that convertible? And the baby said, insurance. And I was like, oh, well, show me how to do what you did, because I'm not sure I have insurance. And then my baby said, uh, I'm going to the opera. And I was like, you hear that pause? That was the same pause I had in the dream. Like, who the fuck are you going to the opera with? So I was getting jealous. And and so I got jealous and I woke up. So I woke up mad, like, who the fuck you going to the opera with? But I woke up to go to the bathroom, and I laid back down after this was like early in the morning, so it was like after 6. So Days of Our Lives was on Peacock, and so I just sort of checked out like who was going to be on that episode, and I was like, yeah, I'm good, I can watch that later. And I got back into bed, and something happened that it's happened before, but it doesn't happen all the time. I actually went right back to the same dream. Normally, when I wake up and then go back to sleep, I enter into a different dream. But this time, I slipped right back into that dream where I was still trying to figure out, like, okay, so the baby already called the police about the car, but didn't call the police about my car. And, I'm like trying to figure out what I'm gonna do about the insurance, because when the dream restarted, the baby was no longer in the convertible. We were back in the house as if that didn't happen. And I said, I don't have insurance. And my baby looked at me and said, don't you have 411? Everybody has 411. And I'm like, oh no, I don't have insurance. I don't have insurance. I don't have insurance. And my eyes popped open and I jumped out of bed and I went over to my computer, and I hadn't paid my insurance. Oh man. But I saw I didn't have any notices, like I had missed paying my insurance. And I let out a sigh of relief. And I went on ahead and just clicked pay and paid my insurance immediately. My insurance wasn't due until the 18th, and today is the 11th. So I still had 7 days, but normally I pay insurance at the very beginning of the month. with some other bills. And I didn't do that this time. So, because I paid a big credit card bill, and so I didn't even think about the insurance. But clearly, my subconscious knew I needed to pay my insurance and gave me that nudge that I needed. So I think this is amazing. I wasn't sure if this dreams were going to have any sort of deep meaning. There were no dead people visiting me or anything like that, like the other dream. But I just think it's so amazing that your dreams are connected to your subconscious so much so that there was something in the back of my brain trying to give me that reminder of pay your insurance. I think maybe 30 years ago, when I had first started, well, almost, yeah, 30 years ago when I first started driving, uh, I had let my insurance lapse and it caused so many problems and it cost so much money. So since then, I've never allowed my insurance to lapse, or that's like one of the first bills that I just like immediately pay. And so it's just amazing to me that there was something deep inside of me, deep inside of my subconscious, that was like giving me that reminder, because I tried to describe it to you how I felt when I popped out that bed. I was in such a panic that my insurance could have lapsed, because in my dream, I kept saying I don't have insurance. And and then I jumped up, I ran to that computer, which is only a few steps away, and it wasn't paid, but it is now. So I'm curious, have has your subconscious ever nudged you or tapped you on the shoulder in your dream to remind you that there's something you needed to do that you haven't done yet? That was my experience, and I'm curious about your experience. Let me know how your dreams are. Have you ever had that same experience from your subconscious just trying to tell you something? And I'll see you in the next video. And until then, please have very sweet dreams. And I will hopefully have a fun dream to discuss with you tomorrow.